All right. Welcome, one and all, to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. And we are going to recap the NBA draft. And boy, oh boy, it was a snooze fest. I got some immediate observations. We all knew Cooper Flag was going to be the number one choice. Why do we got to wait 5 minutes? The envelope should have came up with Adam Silver when he announced that. But we got to get airtime. We got to fill 2 hours. We got to, whatever the bullshit is, right? So they do that. I will say another thing that really annoys the living bejesus out of me is you got these 18, 19-year-old kids and they're saying, oh, this justifies all the hard work and no, you wouldn't understand what I've been through. God damn, you're 18 or 19. I mean, really, what have you been through? Oh, I impregnated the homeroom teacher. Oh, my girlfriend hated my other girlfriend, who hated my mistress, who hated the other girlfriend. I mean, okay, Jesus Christ. I mean, they're 18 and they act like they're Moses in the desert for 40 goddamn years. Like, wow, what was that? I mean, really. And then, oh, I thank God. Like, the people who didn't get drafted, God doesn't like. Hey, look, I know these are exceptionally talented kids. They are the rarest of the rarest, and they have worked hard. I'm not arguing that. I'm not here to say that. I'm not getting into that fight. But man, to act like your hard work was better than somebody else's hard work, let's talk about the NBA. I am telling you, you want to know who the hardest working guys are? It's not LeBron. It's not Kevin Durant. It's some 15th guy on the roster who literally is worried every time, every day, they're going to bring somebody up from the developmental league, the G League. They're going to get somebody on waivers, and he's going to be cut. Let me tell you, his home away from home is the practice facility. Straight up. It's what it is. Let's be realistic. And I'm not saying LeBron doesn't work hard. He does work hard, but he is exceptionally talented. Let me ask you this. If you had to bet your life, who has worked harder in the NBA? Okay? Let's say who's one of the best players in the NBA? Paul George. Do you think Paul George has worked harder than Alex Caruso? Hmm. I'm going to tell you this. I'm betting on Alex Caruso. I don't know. And I am not saying that Paul George is a lazy guy. He's not. Maybe not. I mean, but you can tell he has more talent than Alex Caruso is. Alex Caruso had to hang on like somebody to a life preserver off the Titanic. Like, my day may come any minute. LeBron has never even thought about being cut, right? Kevin Durant's never thought about being cut. Do they work hard? Do they have exceptional talent? Absolutely. But these guys coming into the league is, oh, yeah, I'm a hard worker, whatever. You know what? You probably were, but you were gifted with an insane amount of talent. If you look through all the draft prognostications, I don't see the word hard working. Physically gifted, amazingly talented. Those are the catchphrases you see. Hard worker, go out to the field in Oxnard and get somebody picking crops. That's a hard worker. Let's get serious, right? All right. So let's talk about the NBA draft and what's going on there. And like we said, make sure you like and subscribe, you little rascals. Cooper Flag, the unanimous number one choice. And Dallas had less than a 2% chance of getting him. Nico Harrison is literally the luckiest human being in the world. After botching the Luka Doncic trade, he gets a seminal talent. Now, all I want to say is, and I saw everything today. I saw a podcast and everything. Cooper Flag is a talented guy. There's no doubt about it. He probably is going to be an all-star. He's probably going to be an impact player. But I want to hearken you back 7 years ago to Zion Williamson. And we heard he was the biggest impact player since LeBron. Now, how did it work out? He's a really good player. Is he LeBron light? Nope. Is he Dwayne Wade? Nope. Is he Charles Barkley? Nope. Remember when he got drafted? He wanted to go to the New York Knicks. He was trying to orchestrate it. Okay, didn't quite work out. I hope Cooper Flagg works out. He did practice against the Olympic squad last summer, and everybody's got high marks for him. But at the end of the day, it's the NBA, and I'm going to tell you, there is going to be in this draft, and I have no clue who it is, someone between 10 and 25 who's going to the Hall of Fame. And from 1 to 10, I'm going to say 4 of those guys aren't in the league in 5 years. I don't know who it is. And that's why you pay these people insane amount of money to evaluate these prospects. Let's see what happens to Cooper Flagg. I'm a Cooper Flagg guy. I like him. But everybody who's talking about this guy being the next Larry Bird, yeah, you better hold it. You better hold it. San Antonio Spurs with the second pick took Dylan Harper of Rutgers. He seems like a big lead guard. It makes me wonder what happens with De'Aaron Fox, but I do like the San Antonio way. I do like how they teach their young players how to play in a team concept. They're going to figure it out. At the end of the day, they have enough of a track record. I trust them. Philadelphia got the middle finger from Ace Bailey for whatever reason. They took VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. He's solid, not spectacular. They still believe they can get to the playoffs this year, so obviously they're going to just take somebody they can plug and play who can give them some good minutes, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, I don't know. Number 5 was the upset. Ace Bailey goes to Utah. He was rumored to go in the 3rd pick. He didn't. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I missed number 4. Colin Keppel of Duke. Great long-range shooter. Reminds me a lot of Klay Thompson. He could play. He's a big body. He played at a top-level program, basically G League. This guy's ready. Number 5 is the pick I was really interested in because everybody was assuming Ace Bailey was not going to interviews, was not responding to calls because he wanted to go to Washington at number 6. And Washington's one spot away. And he ends up getting scooped up, Ace Bailey, by the Utah Jazz. Now, Utah is like the movie Papillon. That is a prison on a prison. I wonder when we are going to see the era of player empowerment in the NBA. Now, everybody says there's the players run the league, and to the most extent they do, but only the players who have leverage, who are out of their rookie contract, right? With NIL money, I was thinking to myself, and we don't know how it's all going to play out. Maybe he just sets it out a year, because here's the narrative that nobody else talks about in sports is, the coaches do what they can, but what if the coach isn't the right fit for the player? Derek White, he gets acquired by Boston, all of a sudden becomes a much better player. Marcus Smart goes off. He's not quite as good. Some players connect with some coaches. And when you're starting out your career, I think I'd be very interested in who is going to be my coach. Now, obviously, if you basically say Utah middle finger, trade me or I'm not coming, you run the risk of who's going to draft you next year. That's going to be radioactive. But to me, if there's somebody who is ever going to re-enter the draft, this would be the pick, because I don't think Utah's going anywhere. I really don't. Marketing, Clarkson. Really, what are you looking at there? Hey, at least Park City's there. You can have a nice place to ski in the winter. All right, number 6 pick. Washington had to be crushed. They took Trey Johnson of Texas. They wanted Bailey. This is the contingency plan. He can score. He can shoot. Let's see what happens. Pelicans. This was, I thought, the crazy pick. Stephen A. was pushing this pick all night. He was pushing this pick at number 3. Jeremy Fears, and of Oklahoma. And to me, way too high to take him. But you know what? You're rolling the dice, right? Maybe he becomes a real impact player. Maybe not. Because let's be honest, the impact players, it's really dicey to get one after 3. And you'll be lucky if you get one at 3. We'll see if Philadelphia got one at 3. 12. Oh, not the 12 pick. We're not on the 12 pick, Junior. We're at number 8. Come on, John, get your papers straight. Hold on there, Turbo. Brooklyn Nets took Igor Deneman of BYU. He's 6'9". They call him a point guard. I'm not really buying it. He don't look like Magic Johnson to me, but Brooklyn needs a point guard and they need a center. Okay, they're trying to fill it in. They probably had a list of 2 big men, 2 guards. Whoever's the highest rated was on the board. They were taken. Obviously, they went Demon. Toronto Raptors took Colin Murray-Boyles of South Carolina. He's not a three-point shooter. I don't understand what Toronto is doing. Ever since they won the title in 2019, this just looks like a drunk driver driving a car without brakes. I have no clue what they're doing. I don't have faith in them anymore. Phoenix Suns, Kamen Malik of Duke. Duke had 3 players in the top 10. How did they not win the NCAA title? I mean, really, I'd be looking over at John Shire and going, what the goddamn? Houston got to the final game. You couldn't get there. All right. So, come on. You 7'2", 7'6" wingspan, big lob threat. Yeah, let's see what happens. You better be best friends with Devin Booker. Memphis Grizzlies in a trade with the Portland Trail Blazers. I thought this guy was the steal of the draft. I know, I'm the only guy out there saying it. Cedric Coward, he's a late bloomer. At one point he was in Division III. He moved all the way up to Washington State. This guy, in his last 8 games at Washington State, he had some injury problems. This guy's off the hook. This guy is good. We'll see. Chicago Bulls at 12 took point forward Noah Eswin of France. Let me tell you something. Unless you're really sure, I agree after 10, take swing at these foreign players because maybe you get a Tony Kukoc. Maybe you get one of these guys who can really blossom in the league, who's got some athletic skills. Because at this point, do you really just want a rotational player? I don't know. I don't think that's where Chicago is. I think they need to take big swings. I think this was good. Pelicans at 13 took Derek Queen. I don't know. The guy's not really a shooter. He's on a team with Jeremy Fears and Zion Williamson, who also can't shoot. At some point, I agree taking the best athlete, but sometimes it's got to be a positional fit. San Antonio, with their second pick of the first round, took Carter Bryant of Arizona. This guy's a high-level athlete. I like it. It's, to me, it seems like this pick is kind of what OKC did. Let's just get and Houston, let's get some athletes in the gym and just play it out. And maybe this is the way to go. 46% on unguarded threes, 6-7. OKC are NBA and world champions. They got this pick from the Heat. Center Thomas Sorber of Georgetown. They just got to find somebody who fits into whatever it is, right? I do think the pick here is looking at Hardenstein leaving after next year, and hopefully he can fill that slot at a lesser salary because the salary is the issue. It's not that they have a problem with Hardenstein. I think they're just paying him too much money, especially in a year where they're going to have to, do SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Williams. 16th pick, Portland Trail Blazers. They got this from the Grizzlies. Hansen Yang of China. All right, 19. Average 16 and 10, 3 blocks over there. Yao Ming, 2. I don't know. To me, it seems like a lot higher than you should have done. But like I said, if you're Portland, you just can't you're not looking for rotational players. You're looking for big swings. What happens with that? Sometimes the water balloon explodes in your face. Sometimes it gets somebody else totally soaked, right? 17, Minnesota Timberwolves from the Pistons. Jan Berenger from France. He doesn't turn 19 until November. Only played few years, but he's 7 foot and he's got a 7'4" wingspan. Maybe they can mold him into it. I will say this: I looked at this pick and I thought, wow, they're already getting the replacement for Rudy Gobert. And I know Rudy Gobert has a couple more years on his contract, but wow. Here's the pick I really enjoyed. Utah, via the Wizards, took Walter Clayton Jr. from the title-winning Florida Gators. He's just an elite shooter. This guy is a better shooter, I think, than Jalen Brunson, and I think he has that dog in him, like Jalen Brunson does. Just my personal opinion, but we will see. I like the Walter Clayton pick. I really do. I love the pick. 20, Miami Heat, Kasparas Yakunis from Illinois. All I'm going to say is Miami is so good at developing players. Hero, Yaquez, they are so bloody good at this. I got to have faith in the system there. Washington Wizards took Will Riley. He has great positional size at 6'8", but he just shot from 3, 32%. That scares the bejesus out of me because in this league, coming out of college, you better be closer to 40 than you are to 30. That scares me really, really bad. 22, 22nd pick was the Brooklyn Nets via the Hawks. There's Drake Powell in North Carolina. He's a good 3D wing, but yeah, what are you doing here? Let's go to number 23, the Atlanta Hawks via the Pelicans. Asad Newell of Georgia. He's a point forward. Guy seems like a really good player. Really good player. I think they're building something in Atlanta. Porzingis is there now. They've got some real height. They got some real athleticism. I'll tell you something that really worries me there is the Trae Young thing. I know I'm going to be the only guy in the internet who thinks that. But man, I don't know if Trae is holding down the backcourt enough. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Call me an idiot. Believe me, you wouldn't be the first. Sacramento Kings, literally in the dustbin of history. Nick Clifford of Colorado State. He's a versatile wing. He's a good athlete. Really, at 24, what else are you going to get? Orlando Magic, Chase Richardson. They are looking for backcourt depth after the Desmond Bane trade. That is what they are looking for. They are getting ready to go. And I don't know can he get into a point guard thing? I don't know. That's going to come down to coaching, athleticism, whatever. But, hey, there we go. Brooklyn had another pick at 26. They took point guard Ben Sara from Israel. Yeah. He's the southpaw guard, Jalen Brunson style with a strong frame. That's the first thought I had there. Brooklyn got another pick. They got Danny Wolf of Michigan. He's nearly 7 foot tall. Played very well for the Wolverines this year. Plays great defense. Didn't shoot much. Kind of worries me a little. But they're looking for a center. They're looking for a point guard. Seems like they tried to fill those holes. We will see. The Celtics, I really like this pick. Hugo Gonzalez, small forward from Spain. You need to take swings. He doesn't shoot well. His three-point shooting last year was 29%. That worries me because the Celtics launch a lot of three-pointers. But at this point, I don't know what the Celtic roster is going to look like. This is a guy who's got some upside. Maybe we could teach him how to play. Charlotte Hornets, Leah McNally of UConn. I thought it was a great pick. At this point at 26, you're not trying to get a franchise-altering guy. You're trying to get a guy who's literally going to give you 25 minutes a day. That's all you're looking for. That is a win on a win because that's how tough the NBA is. Los Angeles Clippers at 30, final pick. They took Joachim Niedenhauser, of Penn State, 7-footer. Yeah, maybe somebody for a backup for Zubac. I will say this. I applaud the Clippers. They let go of Paul George last year, which I thought was just a bloody terrible mistake, and they were right. Franks, Ballmer, kudos, Tyronn Lue. You guys obviously know what you're doing. It does make me wonder, when are you going to end the Kawhi Leonard experiment? Because it's really not working, and he's just going to destroy the salary cap. But, that's me. All right. If you could, hit that like and subscribe button and leave some comments. Tell me what you thought about your favorite team and who they picked in the draft. And we'll see you soon on the Off the Rails Sports Podcast.